Alright, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. This is going to be my number 2 Mangalitsa production, and I've been a little slow on getting these out, but you know how summer is. And what I'm doing right now is I'm feeding. So it's maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've just made it down. Had some things going on this morning. I just made it down to feed this group. I hand feed my animals, and what that means is I don't have a huge feeder out here that we have the feed truck come in and just dump feed in, and they can eat anytime they want. There's a time and a place for that. This is not the time or the place. Let me see if I can put that into perspective. Usually when you're doing that, you're on what they call a feed lot. And it could be a concrete feed lot. It could just be a dirt feed lot. But the operation that we are running is we are wanting to encourage our pigs to forage. And that means they're going to go out there and eat grass and weeds and turnips and anything else that they can find that has nutritional value to them. This pig is really good at forage. Some of the more hybridized breeds, they're not foragers at all. They're looking for a prepared feed, and that's all they want. They'll just stand at the fence and scream at you to bring them some Cheetos. And the reason we're not doing that is because we're looking for a certain type of product. We don't want other white meat type pigs. We want red meated pigs that have tremendous flavor, and the fat is nice and white and very firm. And you get that by treating the animals a little bit more how they would be if they were wild animals. You know, you put them out on forage. So I've shown you before that I plant fields for them, big fields too, and that's probably the majority of their caloric intake is what we plant for them. The other thing that we've started doing is feeding them hay. Now this is hay that I cut this year, and it rained last night, so this stuff is out in the rain. And I come down with the tractor because that's the dinner bell for them. If I'm going to be feeding them grain, you know, I bring it down with the tractor. So they come over and they say, well, it's time to eat. And then I jump off the tractor and I fork a bunch of hay to them, and they're a little bit reluctant at first, but then they say, okay, we've got a little competition here. We better eat this, because if that's all that's coming, we want to eat. And so they go to it. Right now, they're not doing that, so I can't show you an explanation of that, because I did feed them pretty good yesterday. I got a load of feed, and I had some fencing to do, so I fed them, and then they stayed on the feed, and they left me alone. A lot of times when I'm fencing, they want to come and, you know, nip at my shirt and my pants and stuff. So they're pretty full today. They're pretty content. I'll just show you a cross section of this group. This is a group of about 24 of them, and they are about ready for market. They're just about ready. Some of them have gone. 6 went last week, and then the rest will be going here soon. But in the meantime, we have to keep them fed now. Feeding forages. All right, can you just do that? It takes a little while to train the animals that is a viable food source and get them used to it. The type of hay is going to have a lot to do with it too. If I have hay that's real stocky, they don't like it so well. If you can get the hay wet, soak it, they're more apt to tear into it. Okay, I guess that's it. I'm talking about feeding here, what to feed, how to feed. You'll notice that the animals, you have to look at their behavior. I'm here, but they're not too thrilled about that. Usually, I'm the bringer of food. They're quite happy to see me, but it's kind of like being at a restaurant. You know, when you first get there and you're real hungry, the waitress comes out, you're real happy to see her. By the end of the meal, when you got to give her a tip, you're not so happy to see her because you're full. Sort of like that. You know what I'm saying? Hello, it's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm.